Hi, I'm Jennifer D'Souza. This is a quick voice input demo of Council of Chuckles. It is my small model app for the Hugging Face Gradio Build Small Hackathon. In a first demo video, I showed the text-only mode of the app. That video is linked in the description to this one. That demo also introduced the app and its features. This video begins with the assumption that the viewer is already fairly familiar with the Council of Chuckles app idea. So in this demo, I will just show the voice input feature. For voice input, the app uses OpenAI's Whisper Small. The model transcribes what I say. The transcribed text goes into a council engine. The council engine is a bit of programming logic sitting under the hood that routes conversations within taxonomies of emotion, states, advisor cards, and so on. So, of course, after it's processed by the council engine, the app then triggers the tiny IR water model built by CohereLabs. That is the small multilingual text model used for advisor responses. So let's get started with the demo. To demonstrate the multilinguality in voice input, I will ask my question in German. The question I've chosen is something that's very common amongst academics. I will set the reply language to be English so that it's understandable. So let me just get started. So in order to record my voice, I will hit the record button. Ich habe Angst, mein Papier einzureichen, weil es vielleicht nicht gut genug ist. Okay, so I've recorded my question, and I'm going to use transcribe. So the question is basically saying, I'm afraid to submit my paper because I think it's not good enough. So that's essentially the question. And so I click transcribe. Here, Whisper Small converts the spoken German question into text. And the text remains editable. That is useful. So it's actually done a very good job, right? So ich habe Angst, mein Papier einzureichen, weil es vielleicht nicht gut genug ist. So I'm very happy with this. I don't have to edit anything about the transcript. However, this feature still exists because speech recognition is not always perfect, especially with accents, background, or mixed language phases. Anyway, I'm happy with this transcript, so I will use the transcript as the question. Next, we want to build our council. The app comes with a pre-selected 5-member council list. So that's kind of the council, but let's say I want the app to surprise me. So there is a 100-member council database, and it has kind of selected these 5 for me. And it's quite interesting combination: spirituality, leadership, work, culture, systems thinking, and so on. So that's great. Okay, so in terms of choosing the scene and the council mode, perhaps let's choose the council mode to be maybe academic panic room, okay? And I will leave the other settings as it is. So next, I will click on Generate Council. At this point, the council engine analyzes the question. So it basically needs to detect that there is uncertainty, confusion, need for clarity. And then you have your sage voices basically discussing your question, right? So the prompt was sent to CohereLabs tiny IR water model, and the model generates the council style responses. So the result is playful, but it's also practical. It turns this stressful idea of anxiety around something into something more manageable or lighter. So that's the focus of this app, to offer a light-hearted perspective on issues that might be too cumbersome to deal with. So this demo shows the voice pipeline. Essentially, it is speak a question, transcribe it with Whisper Small, pass it through the council logic, and generate the multilingual response with a small model. And indeed, the idea is simple, right? When life starts getting too anxious, almost like a tiny dragon, call in the council. So for me, again, to repeat what I said in the previous video, the most interesting part of the hackathon build was the following, right? So this app is lighthearted on the surface, but underneath it's about structured interaction design for small language models. It asks how far we can go with model orchestration, transparent routing, and carefully designed roles before reaching for fine-tuning and heavier infrastructure. I thank you for your attention and watching this demo video. Bye for now.